There we go.
Hey everyone, good afternoon, and welcome to the very first episode of True Life with Tom show. And I have Mr. Andy Mussaw, and we're here today at Fresh Source Farms. We just did a brief tour of the facility, and now we're going to kind of get down to it. So the burning question for me is, what inspired you to get into controlled environment agriculture and to grow microgreens?
Yeah, so the crazy thing is my wife and I really enjoy growing food. We have a 900 square foot garden at our house, basically, that she's the outdoor talent, I'm the indoor talent. That's what it boils down to. So she really enjoys it. I enjoyed helping her. And we have always wanted to have some small level farm. And we only have an acre of land, which doesn't sound like, it sounds like a lot to a lot of people, but it's not enough to have a real legit farm easily. So when COVID hit, I was actually furloughed from my job for 3 months. So I had 3 months off getting paid by the government to try whatever I wanted. So we had done some research ahead of time, and we wanted to actually start doing something indoor that no one in this area was doing. And that was the big key piece for us, was just having something. We didn't want to take away from any farms that were already out there, because there's already amazing farms in the area, like Flying Plow Farm, Third Way Farm, Chesapeake Gold. All those guys, there's so many around here that do awesome work. So we thought, let's add a value added thing that doesn't exist in this area into the farming ecosystem and kind of see what we could do with it. And so in those 3 months we started, and we basically grew whatever we felt like growing, and we took it outside every week on Saturday, and we literally live harvested, as you call it. So we're literally cutting in front of people. So just like you saw them over there, we would take those trays literally as they are outside and cut them right in front of folks and package them right there. So I mean, you can't get any fresher than that. But the obvious challenge was, it was COVID. There's no restaurants open. There's no farmers market you can go to. Grocery stores weren't taking a chance on anything at that point, because they didn't want to bring anything that they weren't familiar with in. So it was an uphill battle to get a meat and potatoes county to realize there was benefit to eating what we have. So we spent a lot of time on social media, really pushing it. So I did a lot of live video. Every time we set up every single week, I was going live and showing everybody what we had. And because I had to convince people to drive from their houses 4.5 miles down Old Field Point Road to come see us at the house. So it was a long ride for a lot of folks to come. And then if they didn't know what they were expecting, they'd get there and think, where's the cucumbers? Where's the tomatoes? Where's the squash? And I'm like, well, look, I've got microgreens. These things are even better for you. So it was a challenge from that standpoint, but we gave out a lot of samples on purpose, because once people taste them, they realize this actually tastes really good. And it's super easy. It's super fresh, and it's so easy to use. That's the best part.
And when did you start? When was day one?
Yeah, so day one would have been May of 2020. I think it was about mid-May, maybe about the 9th or 10th of May. So we're coming up on 5 years, which is insane.
Wow, congratulations, because you know how many businesses, I think, what is it, 80 or 90%?
Oh yeah, first
fail
couple years
after the first 2 years?
Yep.
That's fantastic.
And we've literally moved 4 times because we keep outgrowing the space that we're in. So we're not going to run into that problem for a while.
Oh, that's fantastic. So where was your first place? Out of the house,
So it was in our house. We had
and then where'd you go?
We have a 10 by 12 dining room in our house. That's where we started. And we did that from May until about maybe November of 2020. And we realized we were going to run out of room in that room. So we had a room downstairs, and the finished half of our basement. It's 12 by 18. We don't have a very big house. And so we decided, you know what, let's rip out the carpet. Let's lay down, that click together hardwood just to keep water off the floor. And we moved our operation downstairs. And by the end of 2021, we were moving into a 2,000 square foot commercial space. So it was about a year and a half roughly.
Was that the one on Bridge Street?
Yep, in Elkton. Yep. We had Fresh Source Market.
And just so you all know, Andy and I met at the Cecil Business Networking event. Ironically, a friend from high school leads that. But we met a number of weeks ago. I'd actually called Andy a couple of years ago to ask about Fresh Source Farms, and one of my friends, Matt Gordon, has created a for lack of a better term, the shipping containers that you see, 8 by 40, he's created an indoor facility, if you will, where he can produce as much greens as 3 acres of dirt.
Yep.
Right? And so I'd already had some familiarity with CEA, controlled environment agriculture.
Yep.
And then, God puts Chris back in my life, and then I get to meet you, and I walk in.
I don't know.
What's that?
So whether that's good or not, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I thought it was great because
Chris is awesome.
First when I met you, I saw your light, and,
Yeah.
and it was obviously, and I talk about, part of the show is about love and light and spirituality.
Yeah.
And I felt an immediate connection with you the first time I met you. You've got an outgoing personality, you've got a great energy, and obviously I know where that comes from.
Yeah.
So I'm super glad to be here. So the facility they used to have in Elkton was right next to an Asian restaurant that we would go to for sushi and other things.
Yep.
And we never went next door to see Andy, right? So we meet a year or so later
Yep.
at this networking event. And so now I've brought you up to date, and here we are.
Yep.
So so you got started in 2020, and you've moved 4 times, and now this facility may keep you for years.
I would
possibly.
say at least 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
It depends.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we have room for 160 grow racks in here uncomfortably.
Okay.
So there's 33 over there right now.
Okay.
So we can literally come off of that wall 8 grow racks deep all the way down that whole side, and then all these little, you can't see them on camera, but there's metal poles that come down that are all individual circuits as well. So we ran 22 dedicated circuits in this building to prepare ourselves
Wow.
for being able to actually grow into here over time.
Sure.
So it's I don't enjoy the drive from Elkton to come here, but the building itself works fantastic for
Yeah.
us. And
Well, I
unfortunately-
mean, it is only 30 minutes.
yeah, it's
give
not
or
bad.
take.
It's
So,
really not bad.
yeah.
And oftentimes I'm, talking to
And
somebody
it's
on
your
the phone.
baby. It's
Yeah.
so much easier driving to work when it's
Yes,
yours, isn't it?
100%.
Okay. Am I right? Yeah, my wife's
though-
over on the side, so if I go in my right, I'm talking to my wife.
Even though it's kind of funny because I have such a good team, and I've got to give them a massive chunk of credit for being where we are. That I don't even have to be here. Like literally, they're that good.
Yeah.
My guys are amazing. So it's
And gals.
yeah.
The collective guy.
Yeah, the collective
I get
guys.
it.
Yeah. I mean, ironically, I don't think I have
The
a single,
collective mankind.
actually don't have a single guy that works for me. That's the funny part. So I guess all my gals
Yes.
are all amazing. But I mean, they're all hard workers. They
Yeah.
all love this business just as much as I do.
And
which
how
is
did you
so
find
hard.
them? That the old saying is
Yeah,
good
yeah.
help's hard to find these days.
Yeah.
How did you find these amazing humans?
So about a year and a half, maybe 2.5 years ago, I sat down with my daughter, who you met earlier, Maddie, the one with the golden hair at the moment. It'll be pink 2 weeks
Because I was
from
wondering
now.
if you hugged all your employees.
Oh yeah, no, just her. That'd be a little awkward. But I sat down with her, and she was working a job she hated. And I sat down, I showed her numbers, and I said, "This is where I want to go. Are you in or are you out?" And she's like, "Let's do it." So she's my farm manager. She's responsible for the inventory, the quality of the product going out the door. She does the scheduling. She's been fantastic. And then Lee, I met through another business networking group. I just went in and said, "Hey, I'm looking for an employee." And one guy was like, "Hey, I've got a kid that can work." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I've had Lee for, probably 2.5 years now. One of the hardest workers I've ever had.
Right.
I mean, but everybody cares. That's the important thing,
Sure.
because it's easy for you as the business owner to really wrap everything in quality. You want everything to be as best as it can possibly be. You want to have everybody that talks to you have the best experience. That's what I get here. And I think it's because the culture we've created here is super supportive and super just over the top positive.
Right.
You saw it when my employees left. I make sure every single one gets thanked individually if I'm here.
Right.
Because I want to make sure they understand that I appreciate what they do. And it's also just like Lee, for example, is going to college. They're eventually going to leave me.
Right.
I don't want that to happen because I want Lee to continue to work here, but at the same time, I want Lee to go out and get a really good career.
Right.
You know, so I've been helping encourage them to do that as well, which is really cool. So
Wow.
it's just, you know, my goal as a business owner is to bring in people, teach them how to be leaders, which to me is really important, and then push them out into the world and let them go conquer whatever it is they tackle.
That's fantastic.
You know, and that's what I enjoy about like coaching. I mean, I've coached volleyball, I've coached soccer. You know, I love working with kids. I love making them see their potential that they can't see.
Sure.
That 2 years from now they would eventually figure it out. But I'm like, no, you need to be there now. You know, so let's get you there. Let's get you there, and we'll push and push and push. And then they realize, oh my God, I'm so much better than I thought I was. You know, and it's like, and then they can go out and conquer the world because they've got that confidence. You know, and to me, that's a huge thing. So I really try and, you know, put that down onto my team. You know, they're amazing.
I'm going to tell you this. I've met thousands of people, traveled to 33 states and 5 countries in the course of my 58 years on the planet.
Yeah.
Right. And my next statement, I mean this in all sincerity. The light that you shine makes people feel at home.
Yeah. Thank you.
You know, and one of the
that.
reasons I wanted to make you the first episode is not only am I incredibly curious about what you do, but who you are and how you do it is really the reason.
Yep.
And I just, you know, props to you, kudos to you. You treat everybody better than you want to be treated, and I feel it. I just got goosebumps in my ankles. I just got goosebumps in my ankles. But it's such a, you know, you had been, we follow each other on social media, and you've been real supportive about me getting this first episode because it's you and what have you. But you've energized me in my mission to a whole different level. And just so you all know, I'm going to be talking to entrepreneurs and other individuals on the show because we want to promote your story, your message, your mission and vision and purpose.
Yeah.
Or your
Appreciate
divine
that.
purpose, as I like to call it, is that we're really on the earth for, I'd like to say, 3 main reasons: to serve Him, to figure out why you're here or your purpose, and then to step into it. You know, and there's more things beyond that, you know, worship and prayer and all that. We can get into that another time. But the thing that I want you to understand is I want to make this whole mission that I'm doing about you and about others. And I'm having a blast.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for, you know, opening up your facility, your heart. You can't tell this at the moment, but Andy has also helped us with some of the tech and the lighting and the cameras to get us all ready to get this episode done. So I'm tremendously appreciative for you. So,
no problem at all. I have the equipment. I mean, we do YouTube stuff all the time, and you know, I do podcasts at my house with different growers all over the world. I mean, it's one of the things we do as a mission in that world.
Let's dive into that. Tell me a little bit about your teaching and your coaching and your you know, helping other people. You've obviously learned a lot now in 5 years.
Yeah, a lot.
So tell me a little bit about how you're impacting the indoor agricultural community.
Yeah, which is crazy to think that's the case. Because I mean, really, 2 years ago, that entire industry had no clue who I was. You know, we were just doing our thing, kind of on our own small scale, and then as we started getting bigger and posting updates and different, because there's a lot of microgreen based groups out there that you can join, and so we started posting kind of what we were doing and our progress, and we started catching the vision of some of the bigger guys that are out there, and then they started reaching out to us, and they're like, hey, I'd love to interview you, I'd love to talk to you, I'd love to do this, I'd love to have you on my podcast, I'd love to whatever. And so we started gaining all this ground all of a sudden that I had never anticipated.
Right.
You know, so it's kind of funny how it just kind of fell into that. But you know, as time went on, I had realized that there was people that were in that space as influencers to drive people to products and money. Purchase from me, do this for me, buy something from me. And I didn't want to be that guy. I wanted to be that guy that if you came to me and said, here's what I've got, can I make this happen? I'd say, no. If I didn't think you could, I'm not going to BS you,
right?
Know, because I don't want you to just feel like you can do it and then I destroy your entire life because financially you can't pull it off or whatever. It's not fair to me to be able to play with somebody's life to that level.
Sure.
So that's, I think, why a lot of people trust my opinions, because I'm going to give them the truth from what I feel is right. And in fact, I just had a couple last week reached out to me. They had the opportunity, they do microgreens in Oklahoma. Super nice people, and they have a very strong relationship. And you can tell, I mean, just looking at people, you can see, how good of a people they are. They had the opportunity to work on this larger farm. And I said, I don't think you understand how much work that's going to be. I mean, you're going from what we're doing to a 100-acre farm overnight, and you're responsible for all of it. And I told them, I said, if it was any other couple that was calling me, I would tell them to run away from this project. But because you guys have such a strong relationship and I feel like your marriage can handle this, then why not? But if it was anybody else,
right?
I'd be like, you're going to be divorced in 3 years.
And some people
want to go down this road.
The old movie line. Some people simply cannot handle the truth.
Yeah, it's the God's honest truth.
And if we all dealt more in those truths, personally and professionally, we would avoid a lot more hassles.
Yeah. Yep.
So how 100%. Are they doing?
Yeah, they haven't started it yet. I just had that conversation with last week.
Okay.
So, but I think they're strongly considering it now after that. I mean, we talked for probably 45 minutes and, they went over all the details and all the different things. And it's for a massive community down there, and they feed a ton of people. So, and I guess they lost whoever their farmer was at one point, and now they had another guy come in and he did the entire 100 acres in one crop variety. So for 3 months, they had a massive amount of whatever it was, squash or something, and then they had nothing.
Wow.
So, the people who apparently had tried to take it over didn't really understand how crop rotation works. So these guys at least do. They've just never done it before.
Sure.
But they're also very, very good at conquering challenges.
Okay.
They just started their business this year with their microgreens, and they're already crushing it.
Nice.
So it was really neat to see. But only because I've seen them go through that process, and I've talked to them enough to know their relationship can handle it. And that was important. So.
Right. Well, you said that getting the business rolling and going has taken obviously now 5 years. Mm-hmm. Flash forward 5 years. What impact do you want to make on the community and restaurants and what you do? I mean, what is your do you have a vision for the future as where you're headed?
I mean, it's very
if it's
variable.
Top secret.
No, it's not
okay.
top secret.
Okay.
It's very variable at this point. I mean, kind of one big chunk of it is top secret at the moment, so I can't dive into that too much.
No
but
worries.
The goal would be that the farm will be mostly automated to a certain extent. So we got the soil machine, that little seeder machine that's over there that I didn't get a chance to show you yet, is another. It'd be the next step of that. So we take the trays off of this, run them through some kind of a conveyor structure, and they get seeded automatically, watered automatically, all that good stuff. So I can use my same team of people that I already have who are super trained and super amazing, and really grow the business big, because we've got the automation in place to be able to handle the bulk, and we've got the team in place to be able to handle all the problems. And really, that's my hope, is to get the farm to where I can be out there doing more coaching, talking to more new farmers, working on putting together, national conferences of microgreen growers. I know all the major guys now. We've talked to all of them. So I could easily pull in people to actually do talks and things like that. And I know they would be all into it, because that has never happened. There's never been a conference like that. So that's something on my list for either this year or next year at the latest. I love working with people. It really drives me. And I think that's where my true passion is. As much as I love doing what we do here, I have guys that can handle that. That part's easy. But for me to be able to help business owners all over the globe literally get better at what they do, and really be able to look at an example of efficiency, growth, and thinking ahead. It's like, are you a chess player?
I have played, but no, I'm not.
So if you play a guy who knows what he's doing, he's not worried about what you're about to do. He's thinking 3 moves from now, I need to be able to catch his queen, or 3 moves from now, I need to be able to block the king from being able to move. So that's what I always try and teach people, is to stay at least 3 steps ahead of where you are.
Right.
Did we need this right now? No.
No.
I was tired of moving. So I would rather have all this space, and we put everything in place, all the electrical, all the plumbing is ready to go. So we can fill this whole entire place, and we thought it ahead to where I can be here for 5, 10, 15, 20 years and be totally fine, because we put that work in up ahead. But if we didn't do that, and the next thing you know, I got to bring people in to run electric and do all this extra stuff while we're farming.
Right.
You can't have dirt and drywall dust and stuff getting on the greens. So it'd be a total nightmare to do that later. So it just made more sense to do it ahead of time, knowing that we have the confidence to fill this place.
Well, I know that you said you had a YouTube channel and you do podcasts. Are you thinking about becoming like the microgreen superstar influencer? Or is that already you and you're on your way?
Yeah, I'm not there at the moment. I'm on my way there.
But I've
got a ways to go. But I'm also trying to grow my audience organically.
Okay.
So the people that are coming to watch are there for a reason, versus just having random people come. I'm not going to post my YouTube video about this soil machine to my personal page because no one's going to watch it.
Right.
I would rather share it with my microgreen community, let them go out and see it, and then that way they can go. And the other thing is too, we won that on a grant. So even if they don't have the money to buy a machine like this, I encourage them, hey, there's grants out there you can go apply for and win, to get equipment like this. So it's really just to kind of show people like where they can get, where your next steps are. So they don't have to worry about it later on. Like, what soil machine do I need to get when I get to 1,000 trays a week? They already have seen a review, and if anything, I don't play easy on my reviews. When I'm reviewing something, I'm going to tell you the good and the bad, no matter what. I don't care if it's given to me. I don't care if I have to pay for it.
Right.
I showed you those clips earlier. I broke every single one of them because I was doing torture tests on them. But that's just how it is. If you're going to send me a product, you're going to get an honest answer, one way or the other. So it's kind of, I think, why my audience tends to trust me because of that.
Right.
I'm not going to take, even if they gave me this thing for free, I would still tell you all the things I don't like about it.
Right.
Because that's just how it should be, and if anything, they need to hear that feedback too. So if they hear 3 or 4 farmers all saying the same thing, they're like, well, maybe I should change that, or come up with a better idea on how to do that specific thing or whatever. So. Well,
here's something that is just something I'm curious about. You said that you're talking to different people online, Zoom, podcasts, other methods. Where is the furthest person away that communicates with you has communicated with you? Give me a couple countries.
Literally everywhere.
Just pick 3 countries.
That
might surprise us.
I get a lot of people from India because it's big over there. It's really starting to take off in India. So a lot of people in India reach out to me all the time.
Okay.
I have a guy that I really, really like. He's in Germany. There's another guy in Mexico that I've dealt with numerous times. There's many people in Canada that I've talked to. A couple of people in the UK. Literally,
so this is a global operation.
It's 100% a global operation. Yeah.
This is a big. He's a big deal, everybody. I just want you to remember. So if you want to grow your own greens and indoor agriculture, you're pretty much an expert now. And you should be after 5 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, but it's yes and no, because
there's so much to learn still.
And it's also, I know a lot of people that have been doing it the same amount of time as me that still come to me and ask questions. Because for example, I coach volleyball, right? Never played volleyball. It was Cecil County. There was no boys volleyball team ever.
Right.
But I took the time to research the crap out of every single technique of every single way to do something. So when I teach somebody, they're going to be taught the right way from the beginning.
Right.
And they see a huge difference. And if they say, well, can you show me how to do that? I go, no, I cannot. But I can watch you and tell you what you're doing right and wrong because I know it inside and out. And that's kind of what we did with this.
Right.
We spent the time to really, really dive deep in the nitty-gritty details to make sure. Again, my wife is in quality, so that's her brain just works that way. My brain works that way. Haven't been in IT my entire life. So
you're a lifetime learner.
Yeah, I want a backup plan, and I want a backup plan, and that's just how my brain operates.
And 3 steps ahead, back to the chess moves.
Yep.
So I watched this podcast about football. I'm a Ravens fan, and he always says, be ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yes.
So you're already prepared for what's next.
Yes.
You're ahead of your curve. You might have been a little behind it in the house and then on Bridge Street, but now you're ahead of it.
Yes, we are way ahead of it.
Okay.
And the irony is when we moved into Bridge Street, we thought we were way ahead of it. And then 2 years later, we're like, well, crap, we need to move again.
Yeah, but it was a good problem
Oh, it was
to
a
have.
phenomenal problem to have.
Now, one of the things you all may not know, especially if you're not here in Maryland, Havre De Grace is a waterfront town, and it's a really beautiful area. But you do have to cross a bridge to get here. But it's 13 miles. We live off of Main Street. Where do you live in Elkton?
Old Field Point Road.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about 25 minutes for me.
Yeah, so neither of us are far, and like I said, we met at a recent event in Perryville, Maryland, and now here we are. So you're doing consulting, you're doing coaching. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of the most important part of your business, I believe, at the moment, is your subscription plans.
Yep, 100%.
Can you tell me what they look like,
Yeah.
and maybe the ranges, and how many choices do I have to order from you?
Yeah.
At any
There's
given
a lot.
time.
So we deliver pretty much about 30 miles outside of here for the most part. That's where we try and stay in. If we get enough customers in a further drive, we'll make it happen. We've had that happen in the past where somebody will want to sign up, maybe they're an hour away or so, and they'll say, well, I'll work on getting my whole entire community, involved, and that way you can drop off to one place and we'll divvy it out to everybody else.
Yes.
We've done that before.
And still do that actively?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take on stuff like that. Like we go to Middletown now, which is definitely outside of 30 miles from here, but it's, we have enough customers
worth
down
it.
there. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's not that big of a deal. And so we have no minimal order. So that part's simple. So it's kind of ironic because I've had some customers that get one single pack of microgreens. They are one individual that lives by themselves. So they pay $6 for a 2-ounce pack of microgreens, and then they pay me $8 to bring it to them.
Okay.
But we have our delivery fees are a little bit interesting. They're way cheaper than what you're going to pay like Grubhub or any of those guys to bring you stuff. We basically just cover our gas costs, and that's about it. So you could literally drive here and pick it up and drive home, and you'd spend the same amount of money than to have me just bring it to you.
Right.
Which makes things easier. So we try and make it as simple as possible and as no-brainer as possible. But basically, our delivery fees are based on distance, but also an amount. So if you live, 5 miles down the road, but you're buying $100 a week from us, I'm not going to charge you for delivery. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
We're making more than enough money to cover that. So versus if you're 5 miles down the road and you buy one pack, you're probably going to pay a couple bucks for us to bring it to you. So, but for the most part, you're signing up online on our website, which is freshsourcefarms.com.
Okay.
And if you want to go straight to the subscription piece, it's just freshsourcefarms.com/subscribe, and that'll take you right to the information page. And then from there, you can link through to a form. And it's really simple. You literally pick, the varieties that you want, the amount you want for each one. You can get as small as 2 ounces all the way up to a pound if you choose to, or more. We really have it set up to just basically be, maxed out at a pound. Most people don't get a pound from a typical subscriber, but that's more usually going to be restaurants and stuff like that that are getting the larger quantities.
Sure.
But it does happen. We have a vegan couple. They probably get about 3 to 4 pounds a week of different stuff, and they love it. So they live right northeast, actually. Very cool people.
And how many options do you have? I know you can mix and match, and that could duplicate the options.
Yeah. That's the thing.
But how many individual things are you growing right now?
We probably have about 25 different overall products. Does not include the flowers, which really is just one product.
Okay.
Because we just kind of mix and match them together because we have no idea what's going to be popping up every week. So we just cut whatever it is and throw it in a pack.
Now, are those flowers just for chefs?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay.
People can order them, but I think we had one person order them at one point just to try them. They actually taste good, believe it or not, which is what kind of surprises people. But they are, it's really growing. We're growing them more for chefs, and we definitely have some varieties like the bull's blood beets, the cilantro, the basil. They're more expensive because they take longer to grow, and they also yield a lot less per tray. So we have no choice but to charge more for those because we're using soil, we're using thyme, all that kind of stuff. So those typically are going to be more restaurant driven, but we do have regular customers that get stuff like that every week. They're totally fine with paying the extra amount for it. So it's a very niche, particular green, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Right.
So.
Gotcha.
But it's fun. We deliver every Saturday, so stuff gets harvested on Fridays. Literally all that stuff gets harvested on Friday, it goes out the very next day and gets delivered. So that's our goal, is to get things in people's hands within 24 hours.
Okay.
So that way it's super fresh. They last about 2 weeks. The corn may be about 12 days or so. That's probably the worst one that we have as far as shelf life goes. But even then, it's
so when you say corn, explain to me, I want to buy some corn from you right now. Am I getting on the cob? I
Nope,
mean,
you're getting a corn shoot.
a corn shoot.
Yes, so they grow for about 8 days. They're grown completely in the dark. So they're actually yellow when they come out, which is really cool.
Okay.
They're probably about yay long, and it's one of the sweetest things you'll ever eat in your entire life.
Okay. Well,
I've had parents stop, their kids don't want candy anymore because they prefer the taste of the corn over the sweet candy that they're eating at their house.
Oh boy, we need to get that word out.
I love
We got to get that word out.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite
I think I
things.
might do a video on corn shoots.
Yeah.
And we'll have a little corn shoot tasting event or something.
Yeah, I might even have some in there we can try.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Yeah,
I'd love to do that.
Yeah, they're really, really tasteful. I mean, it's one of those ones when I'm handing out samples, that's the last one I give out because the flavor is so powerful that if you try something after that, you're just going to be disappointed.
Sure.
You have super, super sweet combined with broccoli or something else. It's going to be a little bit weird of a flavor, but I'd say that's probably one of our unique ones. And we do cantaloupe as well.
Okay.
So we do a 10-day. It takes about 10 days to grow. And it tastes just like cucumber or cantaloupe. It's very, very tender. It's got 2 big green leaves. We didn't show that in the video earlier. So we can maybe do some B-roll of that at some point and include it.
Sure.
But it's very, very tasty. Not as good, not as flavorful as the corn. I don't think anything ever will be at all the stuff we grow, but it's got some nice flavor to it.
So, depending on the different products you order is obviously going to depend on, the investment is going to depend on how much you order and that kind of thing.
Yep.
So once someone gets on a subscription, are they typically getting a delivery once a month or every week, or it depends on what they've ordered?
Yeah, exactly. It's usually either, 90% of our customers are every week.
Okay.
Because they just want fresh stuff week after week after week.
That's great.
If their delivery fee is high, like let's say they're in Middletown or something like that, where we do have to go to that extreme, then I'll encourage them to just do every other week. That way they don't have to pay for the delivery every single week. It just doesn't make any sense. The products last. So, if you have a higher delivery fee, get it every 2 weeks. It just makes things simple. If you have a lower delivery fee and you live really local to Havre De Grace or in Cecil County, something like that, once a week is totally fine. Yep. And again, it depends on how much you get. If you get enough to cover the delivery fee, then it's free. So
right.
And again, it's that we charge very, very little.
Right.
Very little.
And as a matter of fact, I think you said earlier that one of your drivers is out right now.
He is. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, how many stops does your driver typically make on a?
On a Thursday, he's going from here south of Baltimore to like Eldersburg area, then shooting over to Kent Island, coming up, hitting a couple spots on the Eastern Shore, going up through Elkton, going up through Wilmington, up to Hockessin, down through Newark, down through Northeast, out to Port Deposit and Rising Sun, and then coming back. It's about a 5 to 7 hour drive, depending on who we have that week.
But and it's once a week.
It's once a week.
Okay,
yep.
so it's not a crazy day.
Yeah, and today is commercial delivery. So we harvested everything for our grocery stores yesterday, our restaurants, our golf courses, cafes, all that stuff. So that's all getting delivered today.
Okay.
Then for residential, well, here's why. So most restaurants want fresh stuff Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we bring it to them today, so they've got brand new product to use tomorrow for lunch when they start their busy time of the week.
Wow.
Whereas residential, we harvest on Friday, deliver on Saturday, because it's the best chance that somebody's going to be home when we drop it off.
Right.
So that way you can just hand it right to the customer. Worst case, if you're not home, and this is just something we tell everybody, just leave a cooler outside. We'll happily drop it right in the cooler. No big deal. It's not so bad right now, but it could freeze.
Right.
So you're better off to have it at least in a cooler where it can't freeze. In the winter, or in the summertime, it obviously makes a lot more sense. That way we can keep it out of the heat, keep it out of the sun, things like that. But for the most part, people are really good about keeping coolers out.
Now, if I was a restaurant owner and I'm not using you right now, what are a couple, 3 benefits to my quality of food by working with you?
Yeah, so I tell people we can make a $20 steak look like a $40 steak with pennies worth of microgreens on top.
Okay.
But the real big benefit is beyond the health side, which unfortunately most chefs don't care about, which is a shame. But the people that do eat it, at least they're getting a nice benefit, health-wise. It's by far the healthiest thing they probably have on that plate, depending on where they're eating.
Right.
But it's the look, which not only can you potentially charge more for that same plate, but you've also then got the person who's eating that plate going, wow, this is beautiful. Let me take a picture. Let me post it on Instagram. Let me post it on Facebook. Let me make a quick Snapchat or TikTok or whatever about it. And then they're tagging your restaurant. They're showing the dish that you have in there.
Right.
So it all just ties back to your customers literally creating marketing material for you.
Wow.
Just by having that plate look a little bit better.
Right, and presentation's everything.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
100%.
I mean, obviously taste, but presentation's a big deal.
When especially in a social media driven world,
right?
Where everybody wants to take a picture of the food they're eating, even if it's just stupid looking stuff, they'll still take a picture of it and post it. But when it's a gorgeous presentation, it's a no-brainer at that point.
Well, like you said, there are microgreen people all over the world, and you feed them and or information, and you educate them and that kind of thing.
Yep.
Are restaurant owners, are you the biggest secret out? Do they keep it to themselves, or do they share it with their friends, their restaurant owner friends?
They do share with their friends sometimes.
As long as it's not in the same neighborhood, right?
No, they really don't care, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's because ultimately their actual meal is significantly different from one restaurant to another.
Sure.
I mean, it's funny because I did, we've been working with Forge since they opened for about 3 years now.
Sure.
I love the chefs there, and I'm actually going there tonight for dinner.
Oh, hold that thought. Just so you all know, Forge is a new restaurant in Northeast Maryland.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Phenomenal place. Chef owned. They have the best food as far as I'm concerned in the county. But
it's on our list.
Oh, yeah. I'm literally going to be there tonight at 6 o'clock. So
nice. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm meeting some friends there that have never been there. I brought a lot of people into that place. But anyway, they've been buying from us literally since the beginning. And we did a video with them at one point where I went in and just filmed them making a dish and, showing our stuff go on there. And I said, Chef, are you okay with us filming how you make this? This is like your signature dish. And he said, Andy, I could stand here and tell you what to do, and you still wouldn't be able to make it as good as I can. So that's why, they're not
driving
worried about
your
that.
own lane.
Yeah, that's it. They're not worried about that. I mean, it's, all chefs have their own unique style that they do, and the microgreens just kind of go across all the different possibilities.
Sure.
And it's always fun for me to see how does that chef actually use our stuff. I mean, like Tony from Steak and Maine, Chef Tony, amazing guy. He bought wheatgrass from us one time as a garnish, and I was like, what in the world is he going to do with that? It's just grass, literally. And he made some incredible looking plates with this. I was like, wow. I mean, it was
so
beautiful.
We're always learning.
Yeah, it was beautiful work. So, I mean, it just, you never know. And that's what I think I enjoy about it too, is just seeing our product used. It's like buying paint for an artist.
Right.
And saying, here you go. And then you get to see what they do with it.
Right.
It's really cool.
And that's one of the things I wanted to say to you is that because of the energy you put out, the passion that you have for it, the people that you're helping, the people that you're feeding, the restaurants that you're serving, it's an amazing thing. And so you and I have an abundant mentality in that there's more than enough for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about the environment you've created with your customers, or especially, namely your restaurants, is they don't see having your great stuff as a necessarily a leading edge.
Yeah.
It's like a has to have.
Yep.
Like you got to have this. Andy's did this for me. He's got to do it for you. So I would imagine that with social media and all the coaching and teaching that you do, that your audience is growing every day, every minute.
Yep.
From what you put out there.
And what's really crazy is when we had the store in Elkton, I will never forget, there was a young man that came walking in. He didn't know what we did. And he walks in, he introduces himself, and he's like, yeah, I got some products I'd like to sell in your store if you're up for that. And I said, okay. So he's got a cooler. He pops open the cooler, starts pulling out packs of microgreens. And I said, okay. So you apparently don't know what we do here. I was like, come here. So I brought him around the wall because we had like this divider wall to keep customers from just walking back into the farm, and showed him everything. I mean, taught the guy a ton. Didn't have to. Like I said, no man, hit the streets.
Yeah.
This is my turf. This is what I do.
Not interested.
Yeah, not at all. But he left with a ton of advice, a ton of ideas, a ton of leads that he could potentially go talk to.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, with what we're doing as a whole, and I tell people this all the time in the microgreens world that I'm in, is we are globally educating the public on what we do. 4 or 5 years ago, nobody had any clue what these were. Nobody.
Right.
But now we've got thousands, 10,000s, hundreds of thousands of people all over the world out there teaching people. And that's the hardest part, honestly, is overcoming that education piece where you have to make someone understand, why do they want this? Why do they want to eat this? And let them actually try it. Because a lot of people look at what we do and they're like, oh, it's just going to taste like grass. No, the broccoli tastes like broccoli. The radish tastes like radish. The corn tastes like corn. That's what blows people's minds. It's the same seed you would use to grow the plants outside at your house.
Right.
But it literally has the same flavor at that stage. And you don't have to cook it. You don't have to cut it. You don't do anything. You just put it right on a sandwich, put it on eggs, put it in soup, put it on a salad, put it on steak, put it on burgers, put it on pizza. It's like you're literally limited by your imagination.
Right.
When it boils down to it. And I tell people that all the time. Our slogan is literally, we make vegetables convenient. Because if you think about it,
oh yeah,
all you do is pop the top, put it on whatever it is you want, close the top, throw it back in the fridge.
Sure.
No cooking, no microwaving, no nothing.
And because it's not processed and sitting in some kind of treated water in a can, the difference is exponentially better.
Yes.
The freshness is off the chain better.
Yeah. And nutritional. Because we're catching it at just the right time, harvesting at just the right time before it starts burning all of its nutrients, creating itself into a full-size plant. That contains, it's like concentrated nutrient at that point. So if you think about it from like concentrated liquid detergent that you'd use, takes a little tiny bit to go a long ways. Same idea,
Right.
So it's basically, you're capturing all the nutritional value before it starts wasting it. Not that it's wasting it, but you know what I mean? Before it starts using it up to actually make the plant bigger, to produce fruit, to produce flowers, whatever it happens to be. That's when it burns through all of its nutritional value.
Wow, I just had a huge aha moment. So I think what you just said was, there is no way in which I'm currently consuming vegetables that's better than what you do.
Yes. Us and sprouts.
That's the most nutrient-rich way to get microgreens and these other vegetables and herbs is through controlled environment agriculture.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now,
to a certain extent, growing into the microgreen stage or younger. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can still do controlled ag with full-size plants.
Yeah.
They'll have the same nutritional value as an outdoor plant.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Because of how you harvest, I get the best of your best.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
And some of those, like the top performers, broccoli, 100%, without a doubt. It's 40 times more nutritious than adult broccoli at this stage, pound for pound. It is also the #1 source in the world of something called sulforaphane. It's the #1 cancer-fighting property, element, mineral, whatever you call it, that exists.
Do you know how to spell it?
I think it's like sulfur and then O-P-H-A-N-E, I believe. Like sulforaphane.
Got it.
It is.
And it's good for inflammation?
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one key thing too. And a lot of the stuff that we grow is good for inflammation when it boils down to it, which is really nice. There's some that are good for certain things versus others, but the broccoli is definitely one of the top from a microgreen standpoint. There's a reason why we have so many trays of it over there, because that's by far our most popular thing, because that's what everybody wants.
Right.
And it has a mild broccoli flavor, and what's nice about it is you can add it to anything. It's not going to overpower anything you add it to.
Right.
Like if I was
too broccoli-ish.
Yeah. Like if I was going to eat a sandwich and then I put corn shoots on it or something, all I'm going to taste is corn shoots. Because it's so strong.
Right.
But the broccoli, because it's so mild, you can throw it on any meal that you're eating already. If you're eating lettuce, swap it with that. Lettuce has no nutrition. You might as well drink a glass of water that's got that much in it. That's about the benefit you're getting out of a thing of lettuce.
Right.
So, the broccoli is going to give you so much more out of that. So take a little bit of that, use it as lettuce on your sandwich, use it as whatever you want. It's literally limited to your imagination. Blend it in smoothies. You can juice it. You can freeze it.
Oh, we got to juice it.
Yeah.
While I'm thinking about it, everyone, just wanted to let you know that if you are here in Maryland or anywhere, for that matter, when you go into the description, you're going to be able to shop online and possibly get a subscription if you're within 30 miles of of your facility here in Havre De Grace. So tell me about the subscriptions again. Is there a minimum order?
There's not. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. That's the one nice thing, because it's the whole goal from that side of it is we just want to get healthy food into people's lives.
Okay.
That's really what it boils down to, and make just enough to get it there. You know what I mean? So it's a very small piece of our business, and it's also a piece of the business that a lot of growers our size or larger have given up on completely, because it's not a big money maker compared to restaurants, things like that.
Sure.
But for us, people are what helped us get here.
Right.
The people down, like if you live down Oldfield Point Road, nobody knows this, I don't advertise it, you get free delivery down that whole entire road. I don't care how much you get, I don't care how far I have to drive, because those people literally got us to where we are today. Because I was set up in my front yard and I was waving to every single car that drove by, and those people took a chance on us and helped us grow out of our 10 by 12 room into a 12 by 18.
Did you film any of the waving in front of your house?
No, but I can tell you, anybody that lives down there knows me.
That would have been kind of cool, because when I was growing up, there was a politician who used to always wave on the side of the street near me. But
I did have several people pull in, happened numerous times, and they're like, all right, you waved at me like 20 times, I feel bad, I need to see what you got going on.
Right.
So, and then there was other people that I'd see out in public, and they're like, it's really creepy that you wave at me every time I go by. I'm like, well, it is what it is.
Right.
Like, I'm just trying to be friendly.
Hey, be glad I'm not shooting.
Exactly.
or something awful, I'm not egging your car, I'm just waving at it.
Yeah, but plus, I mean, beyond that, we've had 4 people lose over 100 pounds. One person has lost over 250 pounds. We have stage 4 cancer patients that are using our stuff every week, that their numbers are steady. I mean, they're terminal, nothing they can do about it, but their numbers are steady, and they're enjoying what they have left because they don't feel the pain. They don't have to take as much medication. Ooh. I mean, that's why
That's your why?
I would never
Is
get
that
to that
your
point.
why?
To a certain extent, yes. And that's why I would never give up that side of it, no matter what.
Okay.
Because it's a very small piece of our business, but I want people to still have access to our stuff, is what it boils down to. Because if I all of a sudden pulled that away, that person who's lost 250 pounds, hopefully they'd continue to eat healthily.
Right.
But the fact that we're literally forcing every week, not forcing, but I understand. We're dropping off product at their house every week, and they're like, well, I got to eat this now. So it's that reminder that I need to stay on this path. And if all of a sudden we pull that away, God only knows what direction they could go. Right,
and you create new healthy habits. Yes. I saw one video on your YouTube channel, and the guy said there's not really a place to get nutrient-rich food in the grocery store in your normal daily lives. And so you did mention grocery stores. Do you have some that are now starting to carry your stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been in grocery stores since
And which ones, if you don't mind me asking?
So about November 2020 is when we started actually getting into grocery stores in the area. We have Newark Natural Foods in Newark, Delaware, right there by the college. We've got Hockessin Harvest Market up there, really cool store. Then we've got Grocery Outlet in Elkton.
Okay.
Yeah, which is probably the closest one to here.
Yeah, we're going to go check them out.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, that place is awesome. The owner, his name is Scott Hines, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He does a ton for the community. Really good dude. He's a Gold Star parent, so he actually lost one of his sons in battle. Probably, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 years ago or so. I mean, but just, you would never know. Like, he's just same as you and I, smile on his face despite, what's going on in this world. So, and you'll know as soon as you walk in. I mean, there's a big dedication on the front wall, to his son, and it's a really, and I'm telling you, my wife and I started shopping there in, I think, April of last year. So it hasn't even been a year yet. And there's an app that you can basically, do all your checkout process through, and we have saved like $1,400 in documented savings. And the stuff is awesome. I mean, it's super clean. I mean, I really can't talk highly enough. We've stopped shopping at every other grocery store. We go there every single time now. Okay. Beyond the fact that you're supporting Scott, who, for the person he is,
sure,
and the mission that he's got in the community, but it's also the products are great. They're name brand. It's not like a Dollar General or something where you're going and taking a chance on what you get. It's normal products that you would buy everywhere else. They just buy them in mass, and then they can sell them for cheaper. So you save a ton of money. A ton of money. It's awesome.
Wow.
So yeah, I was so happy we found that place, but that's probably the closest one to here. We haven't found anything down in Hartford County yet, so if you're a grocery store owner, hook me up.
Yeah, we'll definitely.
I have a lot of
do that.
people down here asking.
We'll get the word out. We'll definitely get the word out. One of the things that we're doing here on the True Life with Tom show is not only going to be promoting Fresh Source Farms in the description, but we're probably going to be running some banners and other things on all of our future videos. Especially, I'm your old Field Point Road guy.
Yeah.
I'm waving at you, and you pulled over, and thank you so much,
Yeah, no
because
problem.
I think we're going to take off from right here.
Yeah.
From right here, I think the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
We're going to get you more subscriptions. We're going to get you in more restaurants. You're going to help me more with some of the technology that maybe I don't know about podcasts and
good.
microphones and cameras.
That's my world, man.
But I've had an absolute wonderful time with you today. Is there anything else that we kind of want to hit on as we kind of land the plane?
Yeah, I mean, just the main thing is whether you purchase stuff from us or not, which I would love for you to do for obvious reasons, but just try and focus on, look at where the world is right now, health-wise. We're probably one of the most unhealthy countries on the world, literally, because of the stuff that we eat. So even if you can just change your diet a little bit every single day and try and work towards eating better for yourself, it's going to be worth it. I mean, you're going to be able to stop taking a lot of the medication that you may be taking now. I mean, there's so many benefits to it, and we can certainly help you out with that. We'd love to, if that's the opportunity you want to take, and we can do that through the subscription program. You can talk to me directly. We have a lot of the vitamins and minerals actually on our website as well, so you can actually search for what it is you need. So if you need zinc for whatever reason, if you're low in zinc on a daily basis, you can search for the word zinc. It'll tell you all the different microgreens that are actually high in zinc. So it can kind of really help you balance out exactly what you need in your diet. And again, you can talk to me directly, or you can do the research on our website, freshsourcefarms.com, whatever works best for you. But just please try and work your way in that direction. I mean, you'll thank yourself. I can promise you that.
Well, I have had an absolute blast from the moment I walked in the door. Actually, from the moment I met you a few months ago. And so I'm just so excited and grateful to be able to spend the time with Andy, who's not only a wonderful human being, he's incredibly bright. He cares very much about his business, his employees, the town, the county, and the world. And so I'm just really grateful that you did spend this time with me,
absolutely.
with us today. And I just wanted to thank you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate you very much.
No problem at all. No problem at all. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for picking us for the first episode. That's really cool.
Just had to do it. Had to do it. So we're signing off, everybody. This is Tom with the True Life with Tom show, and this is episode number 1. This is Andy Mussaw with Fresh Source Farms right here, freshsourcefarms.com. If you want to see what their menu items are, what they offer, go to freshsourcefarms.com/shop. If you want to get a subscription, go /subscription or subscribe, excuse me.
You're good.
And we're going to get this right. We're going to edit that out. But anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in, and please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. All right, in the books.
Fantastic. Thank you, man.
Of course.
What a good time.
Yeah.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
How did I do? Was I good interview?
No, I think you did fine, man. It was about 53 minutes.